One of the best launch coasters out there is Xcelerator at Knott's Berry Farm. This coaster is fantastic, which we'll get to, but it was also revolutionary. Xcelerator was the first ever hydraulic launch coaster. This method of launching that involves hydraulic fluid is very powerful, and it enabled Knott's Berry Farm to replace Windjammer surf racers with something amazing. Xcelerator sits on a small plot of land, and the ride is over way too quickly. But the hydraulic launch and it being able to be fit into a small space allows for this ride to exist. And good thing too, because Xcelerator is awesome. This coaster opened on July 22nd, 2002. Xcelerator would cost $13 million for Knott's Berry Farm, and sometimes prototypes are plagued with issues, and Xcelerator has not been exempt from that, but for a prototype, it's done pretty well. And is certainly miles better than the coaster it replaced, Windjammer surf racers. A great thing about Xcelerator is its trains. This attraction just has lap bars, which really allows you to appreciate the ride's launch, airtime, and the overall experience. Before getting into that ride experience, it is worth mentioning the paint scheme. The POVs and off-ride footage you'll see in this video for the most part will have the former pink and teal color scheme. But for the 2022 season, this coaster has gotten a new paint job with blue, red, and yellow on the track. Out of these colors, I especially like the red, and I think the paint scheme is pretty good. Plus, when a coaster has been operating as long as Xcelerator has, it's nice to fresh up the ride a little bit with a new paint scheme. Ultimately though, this review is not based off the paint scheme, it's based off the ride experience, so I think it's a good time to jump into that. Xcelerator really only has 4 main elements, so it's pretty easy to break this coaster down. After boarding your trains, which as I said I really like, you immediately move on to the launch. And I'm gonna be honest, this thing is insane, 0 to 82 miles an hour in 2.3 seconds. Sometimes people make the analogy of being hit in the back by a truck, but I think it's more like getting hit in the back by 2 trucks. No matter where you sit, you are going to feel the power of this launch. And at the time this video is being recorded, Xcelerator's launch is my favorite element on any coaster I've experienced. I cannot wait to experience more hydraulic launches like this because the force of it is unreal. Even though the launch is epic, the top hat is fantastic as well. If you sit towards the front, you'll get great laterals on the way up and some airtime over the top. But the best seat on this coaster, mainly for this element in particular, is the back. Because you float all the way down the 205 foot tall twisting drop. This top hat is one of my favorite airtime moments for floater airtime in particular on any coaster. Especially when you sit in the back, as I said, just because of how sustained the airtime is. These 2 elements, taken in quick succession with a lap bar, are a joy. While Xcelerator's best maneuvers are over, not all of its maneuvers are over. You proceed to fly through 2 overbank turns. From what I remember, these aren't super forceful, but they do allow you an opportunity to enjoy the pure speed. The first overbank turn stands 110 feet tall, and the second one stands 90 feet tall. And Xcelerator is still smooth even after 20 years, so these overbanks hold up as great elements to end the ride instead of just ending immediately after the top hat. Unfortunately though, this does lead me to the ride's length. This coaster is very short. Xcelerator just has over 2,000 feet of track, which really isn't that much for a coaster of this scale. This is why the ride is over as soon as it is. It is admittedly a bummer that this attraction is so short, but the elements make up for it. The launch, speed, top hat, and overbanks make this a great coaster in my opinion. Another thing about Xcelerator that they could have done better is the theming, because there really isn't any theming, but I don't think it matters that much. Some coasters you ride for the theming and overall experience. Xcelerator you don't ride for the theming, you ride for the pure thrills, and this is a very thrilling coaster indeed. And when it comes down to it, despite its short length, I'm going to give this coaster a 9 out of 10 score. Could it be longer? Sure, Could it have more elements? Sure. But what Xcelerator has is still fantastic, and I absolutely love it. It's the second best coaster and third best ride at Knott's Berry Farm. So, that's my thoughts on Xcelerator at Knott's Berry Farm, the awesome launch coaster by Intamin. This is a ride that can perfectly be summed up as short but sweet, and Xcelerator is short but sweet. It's a bummer that this was closed on my 2022 visit, but I'm glad I was able to get on it multiple times in 2021. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.